Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Scott Morris.
I'm Christian Cortez.
And I'm Alex Navarrete.
And today, we've got a jam-packed show for you as always. We'll talk about the hottest topics in the world of sports, both Sam Houston and pro, an interview with the former Sam Houston National Championship, which is pretty cool, and so much more. This is the Playbook. Now let's take a closer look. First off, as always, we'll start with our usual pause up, pause down, where we discuss the topics around the world of sports and whether we agree or disagree with them. First off today, we've got Deshaun Watson. Watson was set to be one of the faces of the NFL along with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, players like that. However, after facing multiple sexual misconducts, his career could kind of be in bleak. Guys, if you're an NFL GM, are you taking a chance on Deshaun Watson?
I would say as a GM perspective, I would say I would go pause up on that one because I believe he's a big asset to a team that needs a quarterback. And maybe these allegations had to take a big toll on his career, and I don't know if he'll recover from it. But when you're talking football, GM, I feel like he's a big asset. He can really bring a team to their fullest. And for a GM that's trying to rebuild a team, I'd say like Pittsburgh, trying to replace Roethlisberger and all these retirements QB that are coming out right now for this season, I feel like he's a big asset that you would want to trade for.
Alex, agreement or rebuttal?
I'm going to have to agree with Christian. Pause up for me. If I'm a GM right now, I'm looking at the Texans and calling them to see what they want for Watson. Amid the allegations, I get it. That's outside the field, but inside the field, Watson has proven, and to me, I had him second to Patrick Mahomes as being one of the top star quarterbacks in the NFL. So amid the allegations, I know he took a toll, and it was his decision to not play with the Texans. He has his reasons, but to me, if I'm the GM, I'm going all in on Deshaun Watson.
All right, well, then I guess I'm going to have to disagree with both of y'all. I'm going pause down. If I'm running a team, I'm not taking a chance on Deshaun Watson. Now, I remember being a Texans fan myself, loving Deshaun Watson when he came in. He played those, I think, 7 games, tore it up, had his issues, of course, came back, looked better than ever the next 2 years, finally won a playoff game, this and that. However, I just don't believe he's a leader anymore. Last year we went 4-12, or the Texans went 4-12. They didn't look great. Deshaun was the face of that, and he kind of avoided, being the leader and stuff, wanting to get better, this and that. The head coach was fired, new coach was brought in, and he did not play. At first, of course, it was because of these conduct rules, with all the allegations, and truthfully, I can't bring myself to believe that 23 allegations are false, truthfully. And I don't believe that all of them got together and there's some kind of coalition to, smear his name or to gain anything. I just cannot bring myself to believe that many people would lie about that. But also this season, like we said, he decided not to play.
But yeah, knowing the NFL, they don't look at that anymore once the criminal charges, which according to his attorney, the jury should have a saying come April 1st, which is a month less before the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. So that gives the Houston Texans still time to just see where this is going to go for them. I get what you're saying, but again, the NFL has been known to not look outside the white lines.
Oh, 100%.
The gridiron.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. You've got players like Tyreek Hill, Joe Mixon, players like that who have had histories of that kind of things, especially in college, that they've kind of just looked by because they are good at football. And Watson is one of those players that unfortunately gets a pass because of how good he is. But he did not play this year for the Texans. He gave up on them, and truthfully, from that aspect as a leader, I don't think that you can really trust him as that guy anymore.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Next up, for pause up, pause down, we've got All-Star weekends. This last one we had, the most recent, was the NBA, and we had, Team LeBron versus Team Durant. Team LeBron won 163 to 160, but I don't think we care about the outcome.
No.
It was boring.
Yes,
we all have to agree.
Yes, it was.
Is it time for us to change how All-Star weekends, and not even just in the NBA, in all sports? Look at the Pro Bowl. That was horrible. It was two-hand touch. So I'll start with you, Alex.
That's definitely a pause down for me. Look, the game itself, they changed the format where the team captains choose their players. I love that because the intensity is brought out of that player, and they want to win. They want to win, especially as a charitable donation towards their organization that they choose. But just the NBA slam dunk contest, it was just horrifying to see. Just seeing the players try after try after try, I was just like, all right, I need to turn this off because if not, I'm going to throw something on my television for just being so mad. Oh my goodness. They just need to go out and get street ballers from the street and have them compete and just have prize winning money for first, second, and third, because that's the only way you're going to fix it, in my opinion. I don't know about you.
Christian, you agree?
I'd have to go a pause down. I feel like, well, NBA-wise, I like that they went, trying to do street ball pickup, like, oh, I'm going to take this player, this player, this player. And I like the charitable aspect, but Pro Bowl, never liked it. And I feel like it's just, and they do it towards the end of the season, which is understandable. You don't want to injure yourself and everything of that sort. And then if you go baseball in an aspect of that, home run derby's fun if they're hitting.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way I like it with the NBA, I feel like they really went above and beyond compared to these other sports. They really went like, oh, let's do charity, let them actually work for it. And I mean, the NBA did switch it up for Kobe Bryant with, giving him his own award, and in the fourth quarter having to go 24 points. So in my aspect, I like the NBA. I like how they went with the All-Star game. I will agree the dunk contest wasn't the best, but
It was the worst in history.
It's up there.
yeah, I went to go rewatch Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine because I was like, let me watch something good.
But that's not fair because they set the bar so high that it's just like, how are you going to beat that? Like 2016 was just unbelievable.
And even then, I don't remember who won. Aaron Gordon?
No,
Aaron
it was
Gordon
Zach
got
LaVine.
snubbed.
Was it Levine?
Aaron Gordon got
But
snubbed
it
twice.
was one of those where they were both they just kept dunking, and eventually.
You should have brought 2 trophies for that one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think you could have picked the loser on that one, but kind of have to agree with both of y'all on the pause down. It's time to change up All-Star weekends. I mean, I think the Pro Bowl had the lowest viewership it had in 10, 12 years. I don't know how long it was, but it's horrible. I mean, again, I understand players don't want to get hurt and things like that. But it's supposed to still be fun. When it comes down to it, you play a game to compete. However, I mean, these guys are there for fun. They want to have a good time. They want to hang out with their fellow athletes that are the best of the best.
Yeah.
You go out there, an All-Star, or for the Pro Bowl for the NFL, and kind of just run around basically like a run through, or the NBA, where, again, I agree with your point, Alex, and Christian, that the pickup draft is an awesome aspect.
Yeah.
I love doing that. Again, I love that there's actually a strategy that goes into it, but then they get out there, and of course, nobody's playing hard defense and this and that. And again, I understand injuries and stuff. But there has to be some kind of aspect that we have to change when it comes to those that can make those more interesting or more enticing for the players. Up until about, I think, 2015, the winner of the All-Star game in the MLB hosted the World Series. They had a reason to play that game. They had a reason to try and win that game, that they got to be the home team in the World Series. Yes. They got that extra. An extra thing. And again, like you said, the home run derby, that's always fun. Yeah. I mean, you can never not watch the home run derby. But those skills competitions they do in the NFL and the NBA aren't as televised as much. They don't get as much recognition. And I'm sorry, nobody wants to go see Kevin Hart play basketball. I don't. That might just be.
He won.
Four-time
I know.
NBA All-Star MVP.
I understand,
Put some respect
but
on his name.
I don't know. Just watching Machine Gun Kelly try to play basketball was a horrible sight to see. And so stuff like that. Maybe do a little bit more research on who's going into that game, but stuff like that.
I mean, we got to see Myles Garrett. That man is huge.
See, like that, that was a straight up monster out of NBA Jam, going out there and just balling out. But yeah, no, I agree with both of y'all. I think it's time for us to change up All-Star Weekend.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Yeah, unfortunately, which is a shame because I mean I remember the hit Sean Taylor had on that one punter in a Pro Bowl where he just laid him out.
You've heard that.
And not saying that should be the staple, but just a little bit of intensity makes it nice.
Actually, Tyler Lockett tweeted out saying the NFL should do the NBA format, where each quarter they should play for something, for a charitable organization. So that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Again, you can still be safe, but have fun. You're in Hawaii.
And I think it was in Orlando 2 years ago. Then for the COVID year, it wasn't anything. But then this year it was Vegas.
Las Vegas? Oh, okay.
So I think they changed it every year now.
I know they had
still,
fun
you're
there,
out there having fun.
Yeah, again, like you
just
said,
have fun.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, we'll bring it back more here to Sam Houston. Spring ball starting up, going into the season, in the spring, won the national championship this last year, losing in the, I think, quarterfinals to Montana State.
Yes.
Is there a reason for concern for this football team?
For me, there is. There is, because it's a whole different O-line.
So you give a pause up?
Yes, I give a pause up. And plus, we have a new coaching staff as well. So it's nerve-wracking, I believe so, as a fan, to go into the season, because you don't know what's going to happen. Plus, you have Eric Smith coming back. Personally, I don't think he's a good quarterback. That might be a hot take for some of us. he has heroic drives. I know players are gonna like die for him and they're gonna defend them very well, but I just don't see him as a good pocket passer in my eyes. Never played the game and probably would never. So there's more expertise that could follow up with that, but in my opinion, there is concern.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that point. Like again, if any of us go out there and try and play quarterback, we're going to be horrible.
We're gonna die.
But from like an analytical perspective, absolutely. Christian?
Well, looking at the transfer class for this year, I feel like they got a lot of good assets. I feel like with the running back and everything. Offensively, I would say they're doing well. And defensively, they probably need to pick up. But I would say I would go, if we're doing better, I'd go pause up. I feel like because we're going to FBS.
Yeah.
We're going to FBS. We're going to Conference USA. And I feel like doing that, it's going to bring in more people, you know, during the classes and everything of that sort. And I feel like we're going in a good direction. We got a good coaching staff in KZ Killer, and we're going in a good direction. But, you know, it's all going to take time.
Oh, for sure.
Being a high-ranked FCS, you know,
it brings that pressure towards you.
Yeah,
It puts that bullet in your
FCS, everyone's circling you on their calendar.
Yep.
And I feel like going FBS, you know, it's going to be a real challenge. But I feel like this is a challenge they want.
For sure, for sure. And Alex, I have to agree with you in the pause down aspect. I am concerned about this team. Like you said, a big issue I think is Eric Schmid. I mean, he just straight up, he didn't look good in that playoff game against Montana State.
Even the previous playoff game, he didn't look good.
He has shown flashes of being very good. However, he really, again, his pocket presence hasn't been the best, like you said.
No.
The biggest thing for me, though, is you're losing a lot of players. You're losing a lot of your defensive players in Zion McCollum and Joe Wallace, two of your probably arguably your best players from last season. You're losing Jaquez Ezzard, your #1 wide receiver. And again, a whole new coaching staff. That's exciting, absolutely. You know, you got John Perry coming in who worked with the Texans at one point, which is very, very exciting for those. However, you got to see it for at least 1 year. You got to see how they're going to make it work, see what works and what doesn't, and having a whole new overhaul, that's tough. That is tough to transition to. And again, it could very well work, but just overall, I definitely think there's a reason just for caution concern. And again, moving up to FBS, like you said, that is a big move, and especially for this program, I think, again, down the road, I think they'll be ready for it, but right now, it might be a rough transition.
Fair.
Yeah, fair. And just a quick shout out to Zion McCollum. They released the schedule, and he'll be participating in the combine at March 6th, I believe. So,
Doing great.
good luck, Zion McCollum.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, our segment here for Pause Up, Pause Down. After the break, we're going to talk about Faith Cook from the women's basketball team who reached 1,000 points for her career here at Sam Houston.
The proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
Just been one of our best players, and so can we just talk about her impact really on this program and making it what it is today?
Of course, I strongly believe that Faith Cook is the heart and soul of this women's Bearcat basketball team, women's basketball team. Just coming out of like high school and entering the night for her career, she only needed 14 points, and it's pretty cool that she reached that mark in the third quarter with her fifth triple to the night. She had a spectacular game that night, and it was just amazing just to see like the team gather up and just kind of celebrate her because she deserves that. She deserves that. After coming from UTEP, this organization, this basketball team has just turned around, like you said, just finishing last in every single season. It was a different feel, a different atmosphere, and she has brought that, as what would you call it as an athlete, that competitive in her to bring this program up, and she is the heart and soul of this women's basketball team.
I'd have to truly agree. I love the way her game is. I've been to, you know, when I went to that CBU game, she dropped 32. I was in disbelief. It was crazy. I mean, I was on the sideline booing the other team. But it was so fun. It was great to watch her. It was very entertaining, I got to say. And she's just great isolation player, just great isolation player. And, I mean, congrats to her reaching 1,000. Not many athletes do that. Not many athletes get to that point. But, I mean, she's just done a great job with this organization under Lebron Justice, and I just feel like she's just well-deserved, and it's going to be sad to see her leave, but she's going well.
No, for sure. I mean that's a big point whenever you hit 1,000 points, especially, you know, such a little time being a college athlete and being able to reach that. But really, you know, Coach Justice talked a little bit about her after her last game because it was senior night this last, I believe, Saturday it was.
Yes.
And, you know, they, you know, she didn't play. She was actually hurt. She came out in a boot. She did not play that game. She's questionable for the next game and then going into the WAC tournament. But Coach Justice really just talked about, you know, that when she got here, Faith came with her, and that it was a big deal about having that kind of stability in her point guard that she could have. And she could not speak highly enough about Faith Cook. And I mean, like you said, Cal Baptist on that huge winning, they were on a 10-game winning streak, I think a 26-game conference winning streak. And that she went out there, she had 32 points, 15 from the free throw line. And I think a big aspect of her game that people overlook is her driving ability. I mean, she's only, I believe, 5'2", yet she's out there competing with every center and every power forward to get to the basket.
Yeah, she is. And I mean, she's always had that pressure coming in. I mean, prior to UTEP, she was rated number 27 point guard in the nation, according to ESPN's Hoops Girls. So that's that's having pressure already coming into your college career, and just finishing it off with 1,000, hitting that 1,000 mark point. I mean, that's a beautiful story right there. That's a Hollywood story right there. So it's just amazing to see, and we get to be part of it.
For sure, yeah. Faith Cook, I mean, we can't say enough good things about her. Again, she's been a big staple to this program, and we're going to be real sad to see her go after this next season. So hopefully, I mean, let's make some magic happen in Vegas and see if we can get to that dance. Is something we haven't done. I don't know if we've ever done really. So let's see if we can do that. And that'll be our kind of spotlight here on Faith Cook. But after this commercial break, we'll have a very special guest joining us for the show. Stay tuned.
The proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education. Third-generation Bearcat Tacey Webb roped her way to a national championship through her hard work and fearless dedication. Trading her saddle for nursing scrubs, Tacey set her sights in another arena, a place where she can champion the needs of others. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Tacey reach their championship potential. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
In 2021, the Bearcats won their first ever national championship against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. A big part of that team's success was their dominant front seven, and part of that being Sean Mustin. Mustin arrived here in 2018. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with him. Sean, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good myself. So I kind of just want to get this started off with, you know, you got here in 2018. How was your time here at Sam Houston?
It was pretty good, short-lived. I came here in 2018, went to a JUCO, came here, so I think past couple years have been pretty good to me.
All right.
I gotta say, guy from California, what makes you want to come to a little city in Huntsville, Texas?
Well, Huntsville, Texas wasn't my first school of choice, but the coach came out there and talked to me and my family, and I've had built a big rapport with him. So it was more of the family bonding that he did with me and my family that got me out here.
Okay. Can you, like, your relationship with Keeler and just kind of developing that, how can you say that really helped you develop, like, as a player?
Well, Keeler brought in a lot of good coaches. Because, you know, in order to be a good coach, you have good coaches to help you, you know. So he talked to us about, you know, the coaching situation when our first coach left to go to North Carolina. He brought in another coach who was a big father figure for me and for the other front seven as well. And then when he left, the coach beneath him, came up to Coach D, who left to Delaware. So those two really strong male individuals really helped me become stronger and more independent as a player.
For a team, I'd say going to a team with, not really getting some recognition there, and then going to, the FCS championship and able to win it all. How was that experience for you?
I've never been in a championship before, so it's pretty surreal, to be honest. In order to get to that place, you had to go through some trials and tribulations. And for me to be with the same team that I came up with 2018 and win that same national championship with them was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and during that season, of course, that was the COVID year. Kind of, what was the more like, the steps that you had to go through within that season? Because I mean, it was non-traditional at all.
Yeah. Well, the COVID testing, the nose test, all that stuff.
Yeah,
it was horrible. But other than that, it was pretty, just as the same as last year. There's less people in the stands, more masks and stuff in the weight rooms and stuff like that. It was kind of weird at first, but we got used to it.
Okay.
Talking about weight rooms, you're a big guy. Like, how much you bench?
455.
Ah, jeez. I couldn't. Oh God. Couldn't imagine.
Yeah, no, not at all. And currently, you're training right now. Kind of, what's your goal with your training right now?
I'm just trying to get a contract to the league or CFL, somewhere I can play football, other than the stop. But I did get my degree in criminology, so if I do not play football, I hope to be a PO, probation officer.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about graduating, congrats, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does that feel for you? Be able to graduate finally, and for your family as well, man.
Pretty good. I'm the first boy in my family to graduate from college.
Congrats.
Which is pretty good and surreal for my family. Hopefully, I can show my sister going to college is, a family trend. It's pretty good though. My mom got her doctorate last year or 2 years ago, so I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
For sure. Do you have any moments here at Sam Houston, whether that be on the field or off the field, that really sticks out to you as kind of your favorite memory?
My favorite memory was winning the national championship. I'm not really a outside person. I stick to football, school, home. So winning that, going to Frisco was pretty good for me.
You gotta say, being on the field every day, every night, training and all that sort. How does that put on your body? How does that put mentally on you and everything of that sort? How do you go about that, man?
I'm pretty sore every day. Every time I wake up, I'm sore. It's just mind over matter. You gotta do stuff to get it done today. Might as well just do it, get it out the way. That's how I take football.
Any more questions?
Besides football and everything, what are you doing, just to pass time, play video games, watch sports?
I've been playing a lot of Dying Light 2, actually.
Dying Light 2?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That and Call of Duty, that's it.
That's good.
All right. Well, thank you again so much, Sean, for joining us today. Can't thank you enough, and again, that's just pretty cool that you got to win a national championship here at Sam Houston.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you so much. Now here coming up, we have our On the Street segment. We had a few of our crew go out there to a basketball game and kind of talk to Sam Houston students and see their knowledge on sports both here and there, and well, let's just see how that went.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and right now you are tuned into a very special segment we like to call Word on the Street. And as you can see in here, it's a lot of speculation in the building tonight. So let's go ahead and tap in and see what the word may be. Good little guess of what the score may be. Well, first off, do you think the team's gonna win? You think they're gonna pull it through?
Yeah, I think we can win.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. So, shoot me some numbers. What you think? How we looking? What's the score?
Let's go 70 to 65.
We'll win. We got a pretty good team. We got a solid team.
Solid team. Okay. So, if you can give me a final score, what would be the score?
Probably say 75 to 35.
Get those some numbers out there on the table. What would you say the final score would be?
Like a tenth of the size
against
of
Charleston
the
State.
And I was
I'll give it us. I'll give it 95.
Starting from zero, they've got almost
83.
95, 83. And that's Sam Houston way, right?
Yeah, Sam Houston way.
Okay. So if you can give me some numbers as in a final score, will they win or will they lose? What would be the final score, and do you think they will win or lose?
I've never seen Sam play, but I could draw some random numbers, maybe 32, 40.
be one way you can say, like, you know, to help students to attend more Sam Houston sporting events? What would be one way to help get students more involved?
Probably marketing more.
Marketing more?
Yeah, have maybe students be more involved, like pre-game or like a couple days before. That's what I say.
Okay.
Get them
Probably like
involved.
free T-shirts, free food type
Yeah,
thing?
something like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
you can't ever miss up on free
Yeah.
T-shirts, man. So, okay, one thing that I do notice though, whenever I do attend the games, sometimes the crowd don't be ass packed. So,
That's them, me. I be screaming. I love my team. Go Bearcats.
what would be a way to get students to attend more Sam Houston sporting events?
Honestly, probably the social media like Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, people are active on that, so I feel like, you know, that would be pretty cool. But other than that, they've been pretty much doing good because we show out in sports and stuff like that. So.
Getting students to be more involved with Sam Houston sporting events, what would that be like? How would you get more students to be involved? One person said it might kind of market it more, free T-shirts, maybe something in that area. What would you do personally? What would be a way to get more people to come?
That's a good question. Let me think about it. Sorry, that's a good question.
What would be a way to get students to attend more Sam Houston sporting events? What would be a way for you guys to want to be involved into the sporting events here?
Probably more social media interactions. I know whenever, for a lot of it, I don't realize there's a basketball game until it's already happened, or I see my friends posting it on Snapchat. So like maybe just getting it more out there.
Marketing.
I feel like I don't hear about them super often or when they're gonna come up until like the day of, the day before.
Gotcha. See, somebody told me free T-shirts, and I was like all in with
Free
that.
T-shirts, yeah.
That's
yeah,
the main thing for college students. Everyone wants free T-shirts.
I love T-shirts.
Again, Sam Houston. Free T-shirts. Oh, and the pizza again. Yeah. 32-21 in a basketball game before 2 halves.
Stop.
I'm just kidding, guys. That was a good answer.
Everybody in college is hungry, so I say, you know, free food always brings the students out. Every time. It never fails. Free pizza, cake. I'm so sorry. But,
We're going against the top-ranked team in baseball tomorrow, which is UT Austin. Do you think we have a chance of beating them?
I mean, yeah, because we played, what's that, OSU, and we beat them. So after they came off like Vanderbilt, so yeah, we got a chance.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Ball, right?
Yeah.
UT?
You think they're going to win?
I want them to win. I don't think they're going to win.
Oh, man.
No, but
man.
I want them to win.
Stipulations. They're going against the #1 ranked team, which is UT Austin. Tomorrow's game, actually. Do you think we're going to beat them?
What was that saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Bearcat thing to do. Yes, go Bearcats.
yeah.
You heard that. Word on the street is pepperoni to get us to come to those games. How many touchdowns do you think Savion Flagg is gonna score in the basketball game? 3 touchdowns? All right. Well, thank you for your time, Judas. It was nice meeting you. 3 touchdowns, guys. You have heard it here. Word on the streets. Savion Flagg. 3 touchdowns. I'm Jeremy, and that's a wrap.
Well, that was interesting.
Yes, it was.
A little bit, you know, going into Tarleton. I mean, I don't remember a basketball game in college for either teams that had scores above 80 or 90, but
It was just a bad weekend.
I mean, yeah, maybe we're going into this, you know, maybe we don't know something that they know, but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Some high predictions.
So,
high predictions.
and then hopefully one of them are right, and we can
Yeah.
go back and kind of get like the after case, be like, yo, you were right. We got to know what you did. Like, you know, do you know the lottery numbers? Stuff like that. Like, man, you just.
I mean, it'd be nice to know the lottery numbers.
I mean, man, that would be nice. But that was kind of our word on the street, talking about our basketball games coming up against Tarleton State, finishing the season, and we'll do that and go into our full analysis for those games, as well as a few other game picks coming up after this commercial break.
I enjoy seeing kids, regardless of their age, see the light bulb go on and they have that aha moment. In 1997, I started Tomorrow's Promise, the Montessori School of Huntsville, with 3 students. The Small Business Development Center helped me with classes on how to open a business.
We also helped Kay market through social media, website analysis, and develop funding opportunities.
We have grown to 38 teachers and over 220 students.
Son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education. Third-generation Bearcat Tacey Webb roped her way to a national championship through her hard work and fearless dedication. Trading her saddle for nursing scrubs, Tacey set her sights in another arena, a place where she can champion the needs of others. Since 1879, we've been helping students like
I enjoy seeing kids, regardless of their age, see the light bulb go on and they have that aha moment. In 1997, I started Tomorrow's Promise, the Montessori School of Huntsville, with 3 students. The Small Business Development Center helped me with classes on how to open a business.
We also helped Kay market through social media, website analysis, and develop funding opportunities.
We have grown to 38 teachers and over 220 students.
And welcome back in once again. We're going to go through a few game picks first here before we get to our final segment. Last week we had, again, more jam-packed for Sam Houston sports. We've only got 1 basketball game left. Baseball took down number 4 Oklahoma State, which was awesome. And then got swept by Dallas Baptist the following weekend. I mean, that's, you know, what can you do about that? In softball, they're showing kind of promise. But so we'll do a few game picks for this week. First up on Tuesday, we've got baseball against number 1 University of Texas here in Huntsville, Texas. How are we feeling?
I was feeling good because we won against OSU. I was feeling very, very confident, and then we got swept, like you said, and now I don't feel confident. So I'm going to have to go that we're going to win. We're going to win.
All right.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Alex with the underdog. Christian.
I'm going sweep. I mean sweep. Upset. We're going upset. I got excited. I'm sorry. But we're going upset.
I got
here.
you pumped up.
Yeah,
I got you pumped up.
I'm going upset. Win by 5. I don't know.
All right.
I got upset. I feel like we showed up against Oklahoma State, and I liked it, you know. But we got nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. Texas has everything to lose. If they lose against us, then it's not going to look good for their program. But we got nothing to lose, and upset.
I think that's the best thing when you go in as an underdog, especially like that, like we did against Oklahoma State. You know, people have no idea, you know, who you are. You know, most people outside of Texas don't even know what Sam Houston is. So you know, you never had that. That underdog mentality helps out so much. And now last week when we did this, I picked Oklahoma State to beat Sam Houston, and I think that worked. I used that kind of reverse jinx. I'm going with Texas this week. I don't know. Truthfully, Texas probably will. They look really good this year. Do I think they'll stay number 1? Probably not. But you know, last time we played Texas, we had the biggest crowd that baseball field has ever had, I believe, with close to 4,900 people that jam-packed into, you know, Don Sanders, which is a very nice field.
Good amount.
But a bunch of people, you know, we got a crawfish boil for that game too. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people there. People in Huntsville, Texas love their baseball. I think the crowd's going to play a big part of it, and if Sam Houston wants any chance to win this game, pitching's got to be on point, but that crowd, they have got to get into it.
Yeah, and if you love crawfish, it'll be free.
Yeah, again, I mean, who doesn't like free crawfish?
Right.
It's a pain to eat, but like, yeah. Next up, we have women's. Again, on the women's side, we got softball against UT. How are we feeling about that one?
Upset. Upset. I'm going upset for that. Well, you know, we had a good invitation over there at McAnee's, and I just feel like 2 out of the 6? 2 out of 6, one against Manhattan, the other one against McAnee's, and like I said, nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
No, I'm gonna have to say UT's gonna win. Women's softball team hasn't. I mean, they're young. They'll learn, but I'm gonna have to go with UT this time around for softball.
For sure, I'm gonna go with Christian. I think we're getting this upset. Like I said, you said that they're young players, but they're hungry. They're ready to win. I think they've showed a lot of promise. Their ace in Mika Vento has looked really good when she's on her game.
I'll agree with that.
So I think going into there, I think she could pitch a really good game against UT, and I really like our odds against them in that case. And so now we can shift it over to basketball. 1 game left before we head to Vegas. Both teams pretty much in prime spots to make it, unless, I don't know, we get kicked out for some reason. Who knows? But, you know, women's is 6th right now in the standings, men's 4th. We got Tarleton. Both teams lost last time. We'll start on the women's side of ball. Christian, are we winning against Tarleton?
We're going away for this one, but I got confidence. I got confidence, you know, win against GCU, number 2 team in the conference.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like they'll be able to pull it out, you know, under Justice, you know, anything can happen with her.
For
so
sure.
I gotta go the Bearcats on this one.
For sure. Alex?
Yep, I'm calling it. Bearcats are going to win. Yep. You got Coach Justice. It's ever since she came back, this women's basketball team is very different, playing different, and I believe that we're going to go into that tournament winning our last game.
I agree as well. I really think that our team has really turned that corner.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that they're going to make a run in that tournament. But that first matchup, like Coach Justice said after last game when I talked to her, was you have to look at the thing in front of you, and that's Tarleton State. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, they lost the first time, but again, a whole different team. The only question mark, of course, is Faith Cook, if she's playing. But even then, like, we beat Grand Canyon, and we didn't, like, just beat them. I mean, we won by 3, but we were up by double digits for most of that second half.
I was scared for a moment, though.
Yeah, I think we all were, but, you know, and Justice talked about it, you know, their team was tired because, you know, like Sydney Kemp went out there as a freshman. She played, I think it was 32 minutes.
Which is unheard of.
When she averages about, you know, 12 to 18 a game. And so that was a big thing, but I really think that against Tarleton, I mean, even though we're going down there to Stephenville, I think is where they're at.
Yeah.
I like our odds. And of course, men's, being top 4, having a prime chance after New Mexico State losing their game against Chicago State, you know, falling flat, I mean, real flat against Grand Canyon. Last game against Tarleton, get their revenge after the first conference loss. Are we winning that game, Alex?
I don't know. After that last game, I'm going to have to go with the Bearcats are going to lose for the men's side. It hurts to say that, but how do you recover from a game like this last one? So they might say the right things. The players might say that they're in the right mindset and everything, but it's hard for me to think that you can recover that easy from a game.
Had 2 very bad losses this weekend, but I mean, we're at home. We're at home. We've had a great record, positive record at home, and I just feel like, you know, we just got to get a good start. As long as we get a good start in the beginning, everyone's hitting their shots, die down on turnovers, I feel like we got this game.
I agree with you 100%, Christian. I think a big thing going into the game is Savion Flagg. You know, he's been our best player this year. He's competing for the WAC Player of the Year. However, he's just been a little bit of inconsistent recently.
Yes, sir.
You know, he came close to losing that double-digit streak against SFA in that really, really close loss.
Bad call, terrible call.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those you gotta let them play.
Yeah.
But you know, they've been playing a little bit of inconsistent ball, but again, at home, you know, Hooten's really gotten this crowd to be into their men's basketball team, and if they can come out, kind of look like they did the middle of the season, I mean, I think they'll be fine in this game.
For sure.
Yeah, those are our game picks of this week, and lastly here, to celebrate Black History Month, we'll be discussing a few like role models and people we've idolized, looking up. You know, the world of sports cannot be, you know, talked about enough with the influence that, you know, a lot of black people have had on the world of sports. Alex, who have you got?
First up, I got LeBron James. Hate him or love him, he's been outspoken. He's had that spotlight on him since he came out of high school, and he has showed that he's been a good role model. I can't even think of a hiccup that he might have in his career. And I think the moment where I realized that LeBron James has done so much is whenever that news anchor said to the basketball players, "Shut up and dribble." And I think that fired a fire in him to come out and be like, you know what, we're just not basketball players. We can use this platform to let our voices be heard. And to me, that is something amazing to see a superstar like LeBron James take time out of his busy schedule and to be a voice for those voiceless people. So my first highlight will be LeBron James.
For sure, and I mean, even so, opening up that school, the Promise School in Ohio. Yeah, in his hometown for underprivileged kids and just stuff like that. I mean, you can't talk about his influence, you know, just speaking out things like that. You know, one person I want to highlight who's not really a player but a coach, Mike Tomlin, especially with everything going on in the NFL with Brian Flores and things like that. Mike Tomlin's been a head coach of the Steelers since 2007. He's won them a Super Bowl. They've consistently been to the playoffs, been a winning team. And I mean, just kind of one of those people you cannot root for. He's always had good teams no matter what. He's really had a big influence on really kind of getting, you know, that minority role of like, we can do this too in such a field that has such an influence with him, and that I really think that you can't overlook when it comes to coaching and things like that, kind of what he's done as being such a staple, one of the longest tenured head coaches in the NFL right now.
Yes, sir.
You really can't, when you talk about Black history in the NFL, you can't not talk about Mike Tomlin.
I would agree. Well, for me, I'd say the first person I'm going to highlight, an old head, I got to go Bill Russell. I mean, he really made the platform for these young Black NBA players to basically show off their talents, man. And, he had to deal with the discrimination of being a Black man in a white area, having to deal with those, being on a white team and being able to be the first NBA Black coach. And he just broke down that border that they had with him, and I just love how he did it. People don't know, but he was feet away from Martin Luther King during that speech. And he just supported them so well, and I feel like a lot of these players that are in the league right now really have to appreciate that, man, because he did a lot for them.
For sure.
And staying on that topic of breaking barriers, second person I want to highlight is Jackie Robinson, number 42 for the Brooklyn Dodgers that they were back then. He broke the color barrier that the MLB had in 1947. And it just kind of did a pathway for other players to showcase their talents and show that colored people also have talent to play baseball. And his number is retired throughout all the teams in the MLB. They have a specific date to celebrate Jackie Robinson, number 42, and they have all the players wear that number. So they could be looked at as the same person, and not look at skin color. So that's my second person to be highlighted.
Yeah, and I'll stay on that kind of topic of breaking barriers. Got to talk about Tiger Woods. 15-time champion, including 5 Masters, and including 2019. And especially that kind of comeback story he had. Really, like you said, breaking that color barrier for golf, which is primarily a sport that's dominated, by generally white people. For years and years. And Tiger Woods really stepped into it, and not only was good at it. I mean, he is regarded as the greatest golfer of all time. If he's not one, he's definitely up there in top 3. And I mean, I don't follow golf very much. I suck at the sport playing it. I don't watch it a lot, but everybody knows who Tiger Woods is.
Yeah.
If you ask almost anybody who, name a golfer, they're gonna say Tiger Woods.
Is gonna be top 3 at least.
And so just kind of his influence in being able to go to a sport that really didn't have a lot of representation, and going out there and dominating, not just doing well, but absolutely dominating in everything that he did for as long as he did. Back in the early 2000s, again to 2019, winning that Masters and just, always having that green jacket with him, just to show kind of his presence. I mean, Tiger Woods is, one of the most modern day kind of color barrier breakers.
Yes, sir.
I have to agree. I'd say the second person I'm gonna highlight is one and only Muhammad Ali. He was an animal in the ring. He was an animal. He had fun. He had fun, and he really influenced a lot of people, a lot of kids. And earlier in the time, he didn't want to go, to the army to serve during the time and everything of that sort. And he had people, having his back, and the Black barrier saying oh, he has to go. No, he stood up for him, and he did a great job. And a lot of people know him. A lot of people love him. A lot of people know him. And just rest in peace. And I just want to highlight him.
Yeah. He had swag.
Yeah.
And speaking of swag, Hank Aaron, my last person to highlight, player for the Atlanta Braves. He was sent letters threatening his life whenever he was on the chase of breaking Babe Ruth's home run list. He broke it with his 715 long ball, and during this time, Hank Aaron was sent threatening and racist letters towards him. But he kept his composure. He went about his day. He didn't get into any bad things. And even President Jimmy Carter at the time later credited Aaron for integrating sports in the Deep South. So shout out to Hank Aaron. And even though the Braves beat my Astros in the World Series, I was happy for him because it just embodies Hank Aaron's legacy with that World Series.
For sure, kind of full circle,
yeah.
And representing him and things like that. Lastly, I want to highlight really 2 people, but they kind of are connected, the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena. Again, another sport that has not had a lot of representation, and the 2 of them being, at one point, both of them being the top player in the world. I believe Serena has the most Grand Slams out of anybody.
For sure.
And of course, Venus also, again, being #1 player in a number of years, and just both of them really going out there. And I mean, they've faced so much discrimination. And again, similar to golf, where like they really haven't had that representation. They kind of, their audience is clear. And they went out there, and again, they weren't good. They dominated. They gave hope to every little kid that wanted to play tennis, be like, I can do that too. And so really, they've just shown their mark in the tennis world, and just being able to, go out there and just be the best that they are. I mean, Serena was out there, playing pregnant 2 years ago?
Won the Australian Open.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the Australian Open, right?
Yeah, and so, just doing stuff like that, you can't not talk about the Williams sisters when you talk about Black history.
For sure, for sure. Third person I want to highlight is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's played for the Bucks, won a championship there, played with Irvin Johnson and the Lakers and won a championship there. And, he dealt with a lot of hate, and he had to deal with, same as Bill Russell, dealing with these criticisms and stuff like that. I mean, the man's 7 feet tall, there's a lot of things people can say. And he just, let his game show for it. Use his platform, use what he can do to show that, Black people belong here, and as they do. And I just feel like he's a big role model, and he's just really important to the league, as I say.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we could go on and on about the important influences during Black History Month in the world of sports, because it would not be possible. But we could continue. I mean, these were just 9, 10 people that we really highlighted, all for different reasons. And again, there's hundreds of thousands of more that we really could talk about here. But we just want to give a little bit of insight on kind of who we looked up to and who's really, influenced our look into sports. And that'll wrap it up here for the Playbook. Thank you again so much for tuning in, as always. And we're excited to see you again next week.